What's going on, everyone? Welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV, and we've just drawn 2-2 of Everton at Goodison Park. A lot of mixed opinions coming out of this game, really. I think we can look back on this certainly as a really well fought point. I'm more than happy with a point. If you'd have said we were going to get just 1 point out of this game going into it, I'd have taken that. I am really pleased with it, especially the way we came back to get that point, the character we showed, the defiance we showed, and especially as we got this point against a team that absolutely bullied us last season and beat us 3-0. Yeah, I couldn't be happier. Overall, I'm just really pleased that we were able to fight back, because in previous seasons, especially last season, we wouldn't have been able to do that, and we showed massive character today. Awful lot of respect to every player out there, especially a bit controversial, but I thought Olivier Giroud was excellent when he came on the pitch today. But like I said, mixed opinions. I think there were an awful lot of things that went wrong today. We did show signs of last season. There was that slight feeling that we were going to roll over Everton. Well, I say slight, in that first half, it really did look like we were going to roll over for Everton. I've got to be brutally honest here. We were a shambles, to be honest, in that first half. At times, we did look really good, the likes of Alexis Sanchez, some lovely link-up play with the likes of Ramsey and Ozil. However, at times, the tactics were so inept at times, and we just didn't look up to the pace of the game. Everton were on a different level to us, and we just couldn't keep up with it. And quite frankly, we did deserve to be 2-0 down at half-time. I think it was a little harsh on us because, especially in the first opening 10, 15, 20 minutes of the game, we did look fairly good. But we weren't taking our chances, whereas Everton took their chances when they had them. I mean, 1 attempt, 1 goal. I think that's a stat I read just going into Seamus Coleman's goal. But, yeah, a couple of things that went wrong today. First of all, Ozil out on the left-hand side. Exactly the same problem as when we had Ramsey playing on the wing for us. It's not going to work. Look at the player Ramsey became when he came to the middle in his natural position. Fantastic player now. Ozil, I actually thought he played really well today, in all honesty. I don't think he was a standout player, but he did what he had to do. He made some lovely creative passes, some lovely dribbles, did what he predominantly does in the middle of the park, except he didn't do the stuff that is required of a winger, basically. And he's not a winger, so I'm not going to lay into him for not doing defensive duties, because quite frankly, he's not capable of them, and we know that. And looking on that left-hand side, it was so obvious that Everton were going to punish us there, because Ozil, who can't track back, and then Monreal, it's just asking for trouble, really. And that's where they attacked us throughout that whole game. Lukaku trying to burst down that side. On the other side, though, Debussy and Chamberlain, I thought that was defended exceptionally well, especially with the likes of Callum Chambers in those opening 20 minutes. Defending against the likes of Morales, who were making some really attacking runs against us. I thought they did exceptionally well on their behalf. But unfortunately, we did go 1-0 down, and that was with Seamus Coleman, a really poorly defended goal in all honesty. Gareth Barry with a lovely ball into the box. Ozil lost Coleman, but again, like I said, can't lay into him for that. No idea where Monreal was for this. Where was Monreal? And it was in the back of the net, 1-0 down. I don't think we deserved that, in all truth. I think we didn't take our earlier chances that we had. But, you know, these things happen in football. We went 1-0 down, and I don't think we reacted too well to the goal. I mean, we were doing exactly what we were doing before, but we had no target man in the box because, of course, we were playing Sanchez as the striker, and he's not the tallest of guys, and we weren't able to cross because, in effect, it was pointless because no one was able to get on the end of it. And we were trying to play in a really narrow style, which just wasn't working for us, and we weren't able to break Everton down. I thought Everton defended resolutely until the half-time whistle, and just before half-time, we did go 2-0 down. Incredibly unjust, this goal. Callum Chambers did lose Lukaku. Of course, Chambers has quite a bit to learn, but I still thought he was exceptional today. Did lose Lukaku. Lukaku ran through, played an offside ball to Naismith. Naismith, I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league, but this was offside. There's no getting away from that. We should have been 1-0 going into the break, but conceding at that time to an offside goal. You know, I don't really know what I was expecting, to be honest, because the standard of English officiating is absolutely abysmal. And we were going into the break at 2-0 down, and it was rather unjust, but we hadn't taken our chances. Everton took theirs, and it was a wake-up call because we came out in that second half. We brought on Olivier Giroud for Alexis Sanchez. I probably wouldn't have taken off Sanchez. I'd have maybe rejigged the back four that was playing behind the striker at the time. And regarding that, like I said, Ozil doesn't work on the left-hand side, but looking at that forward pivot we've got with Ramsey and Wilshere, that's not working either. Jack Wilshere, I incredibly admire the faith that Wenger is putting in him, because I know that he wants him to fulfil his potential, and hopefully Jack can do that at some point. But the past couple of games, he has been pretty average, in all honesty. and he wasn't up to scratch again today, and he's not working alongside Ramsey. If it was up to me going into today's game, if I knew we were going to play Ozil, I would have started with Ozil and Ramsey in the forward pivot, because you've got the creativeness of Ozil, you've got the general presence of Aaron Ramsey. On the right hand side, I'd have gone with Chamberlain, and on the left hand side, I'd have gone with Campbell. Two predominant wingers who are going to bomb forward and allow Ozil and Ramsey to play creative balls into them, and then Ramsey can be a late comer into the box and put it in the back of the net. Unfortunately, we didn't do that, and it didn't really work out for us today. But that's something we can learn, and hopefully going to the Besiktas game, we'll see Joel Campbell start, because when he came on, I thought he brought a bit of flair and intensity to the game, and I thought he had an overall good performance for the 20 or so minutes that he was on the pitch. But the presence of Olivier Giroud, immediate impact, almost scoring straight off the bench. Unfortunately, he blazed effort right over the bar, but it was all Arsenal that second half. The only way Everton were going to get us was on the counter-attack. They were happy to sit back and counter against us with the likes of Morales and Lukaku, but I thought we defended really resolutely against them. Mertesacker certainly upped his game. Regarding Mertesacker in this one, I don't think he was at his best, but to be fair, what could we expect of him? Wenger did say in his press conference that he wasn't prepared to start the Germans for this one because they lack competitive competition. Obviously, they haven't played in about 6 weeks, so I'm not going to lay into them too much, but I thought Mertesacker did what he had to do today, but he was slightly off the pace. I think that partnership of Chambers, should I say, and Koscielny has been working really well for us, but I think we're going to slowly introduce Koscielny and Mertesacker together once more, and hopefully our defensive issues will be sorted. I can't wait for Kieran Gibbs to be back as well, just so we have a really assured defence. But regarding the rest of that second half, we looked incredibly dominant. Towards the 70th, 80th minute stage, we did see the introduction of Joel Campbell and Santi Cazorla, bringing rightly off Chamberlain and Jack Wilshere, who hadn't played they'd been pretty awful today, in all honesty. Wilshere hadn't brought anything to the game. Chamberlain was a bit off point. I thought he made some excellent runs and tackles as well, but he was off point, there's no doubt about that. These two players brought something to the game. I was impressed with Cazorla, to be honest. I've got to give him a lot of credit there, because the past 2 games I have laid into him. I don't think he's done particularly well, but he lived up to his name today. Getting the assist for the goal that brought us right back into it. Didn't even look up. Lovely work by him. Playing it through to Ramsey, who slid into the back of the net. And at that time, it looked like either a consolation or a goal that would get us back into it. At that point, the game could have ended either 3-1 to Everton or 2-2. Thankfully, it was the latter. Excellent work by Olivier Giroud. And I've also got to give credit to Monreal. I'm not going to lie, I thought Monreal was awful today. I can't wait for Gibbs to be back, but it was a great cross at the time. To Olivier Giroud, credit where it's due. Back of the net from Giroud, and really good goal when you analyse it properly. I mean, he had to hold off Distan, who's an incredibly physically presentable guy, and Giroud held him off really well. Couldn't get off the ground because of Distan, and slid it into the back of the net past Tim Howard. Hopefully that'll give Giroud a bit of confidence. Unfortunately, he has got injured, but hopefully it won't be for too long, and he can bring that into that game against Besiktas and hopefully get a few more goals and really emulate the kind of player that he was last season, and just improve and build himself, and hopefully we'll see a lot more to come from him. But anyway, the game ended 2-2. Anyway, it wasn't the best of performances, like I said, not very convincing. We haven't had a truly convincing performance yet, not since that Community Shield game, and I think against Besiktas and against Leicester, we've got to be putting in good performances and hopefully get a couple of goals in those games. I don't want us to be conceding anymore as well, because we conceded 3 goals in the past Premier League games, which isn't all that great at this stage in the season. So hopefully we'll see Mertesacker and Koscielny playing again together soon. But overall, yeah, I'm really happy with today's point, considering where it looked at half-time in this game. It didn't look good for us, but we fought back, we've been resolute. Hopefully we can bring this into games against Man City, Chelsea away, and hopefully we can get some points out of those games. But big learning curves today, like I said, in that game against Besiktas. I want to see Jack Wilshere dropped, although I'm guessing he'll have to start because we've got no Aaron Ramsey for that one. But I know we've got to be playing 2 predominant wingers with 2 fairly creative players in that pivot, because like I said, Wilshere and Ramsey isn't working, and that is a huge learning curve for us. But Wenger's got to be less stubborn, and he's got to be giving other players a chance, such as Campbell, who is one of the most talented players in the world in my opinion. Well, young prospect, should I say, and hopefully he'll be given his chance, because I thought he played well today. But overall, yep, excellent point, like I've said. Those have been my thoughts on today's game against Everton. If you have enjoyed the video, please give it a like rating. Subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV as well as my own channel, AFC Game by Game. As always, thank you very much for watching, guys.